Tensión máxima absoluta. Eslovaquia rompe con la línea de la Unión Europea sobre Rusia tras el anuncio de Ursula von der Leyen. Vamos a estar viendo qué es lo que pretende hacer ahora mismo Eslovaquia, porque ellos lo tienen muy claro. No van a aceptar esas políticas de Ursula von der Leyen en las que no les permiten, como dicen, llevar a cabo, en este caso, un anticipo de compra de gas. Vamos a escuchar las palabras, en este caso, del primer ministro eslovaco. Atención.
Ask about Repower EU. Will there be a ban on both gas and oil? Alternatively, if you are not worried, and since you are pushing for us to stop taking Russian gas and Russian oil, for example, the Americans might sanction us, since Donald Trump is threatening this.
Mr. Editor, expressions like we are pushing or we are not pushing are not an ideological or political issue. I have informed the American president in this spirit, even through a personal letter, that the delivery of gas and oil from the Russian Federation to our region is not a political or ideological matter. It simply was like that. That's just how everything was set up. We have a perfectly developed infrastructure for the delivery of resources from east to west, for the delivery of oil from east to west. And now ideological decisions are being made that damage us significantly. I appreciate all representatives who properly represent the Slovak Republic, who at all meetings voted against all partial measures and decisions related to Repower EU. That is, the gas. We are talking about that gas. There will be a definitive vote sometime in December, I assume, where our representative will receive clear instructions to vote against it again. And then we will ask the European Commission to what extent they have fulfilled what they promised us, because they are well aware of the impact it has on us. We were always at the start of the pipeline, and now we are suddenly at the end of the pipeline. We will be relying on the goodwill of the partners of the European Union. And what if there isn't enough gas? Do you think anyone will care about Slovakia? No, no one will care about Slovakia. We even propose amendments to that regulation, various safety breaks, emergency situations. We included everything there. We want to know how the European Commission handled it. And also, we believe that this legal regulation violates the principles of subsidiarity. And above all, Editor, the biggest dirtiness was that this is a topic where unanimity is normally required, and they knew very well that there are countries, like Slovakia, that could never agree with such a decision, for us to veto this decision. So they bypassed unanimity and went for a qualified majority, and the qualified majority decided for us, for the Slovaks, Hungarians, and others, that we will not be able to take gas from where we want to take it because it is economically advantageous and good for us. And please, I cannot accept the argument that by buying gas or oil from the Russian Federation, we are funding the military expenses of the Russian Federation. Mr. Editor, Russia is the second largest supplier of liquefied gas to the European Union. This means that those who take liquefied gas can do so, but we cannot buy gas and oil because, moreover, if we consider the total revenues that the Russian Federation gets from oil and gas supplies to the European Union, Slovakia represents 2%, a negligible 2%. So there are absolutely no arguments for such a harmful decision.
I want to ask, it was reported yesterday that there was a cyber attack on your department. Can you tell us what it was about? Are any data at risk, or is it being investigated?
Are any data at risk? And are you happy that everything will be disrupted again? Oh my God, you are completely ridiculous. Oh God. In the second part of my speech, first we want to talk about the topic of energy assistance. Be calm, everything is under control.
Bueno, según dice Fico, todo está sobre control, pero como hemos comprobado, Fico ya lo ha dejado muy claro, no vamos a estar haciendo caso a Ursula von der Leyen. Vamos a escuchar qué es lo que Ursula von der Leyen quiere revelar sobre estas importaciones que, por cierto, quiere prohibir de una manera u otra. Vamos a escucharla, atención.
Last night we reached a provisional agreement on the Commission's proposal to fully phase out Russian fossil fuels. We're turning that page. And we're turning it for good. This is the dawn of a new era, the era of Europe's full energy independence from Russia. Many believe this would be impossible. Well, the figures speak for themselves, and let me give you some. Today, Russian gas imports, so LNG and pipeline, are down from 45% at the beginning of the war to 13%. Coal imports are down from 51% at the beginning of the war to to now 0. And crude oil imports are down from 26% to 2% today. I always knew that we could deliver with unity, with resolve, and by building on the extraordinary work of the past 3 years. With our Repower EU plan, we overcame the worst energy crisis in decades. We saved energy together while ensuring energy.
Bueno, hay que tener en cuenta que aún el 19% de gas ruso está llegando a... O sea, Europa se suministra con 19% de gas ruso aún. O sea que por más que Ursula von der Leyen quiera poner la zancadilla, no lo va a conseguir al fin y al cabo, ¿no? Porque hay algunos países que tienen por obligación que seguir comprando gas ruso. Claro, esto digamos que está intentando poner una tirita que no acaba de funcionar.
Security all the way. We diversified our suppliers to trusted partner, signing new partnerships, and we invested in renewables and nuclear at unprecedented speed. As we slashed Russian imports of fossil fuels massively, we also cut the revenues that Russia uses to wage its war of aggression against Ukraine. We were paying to Russia 12 billion euros per month at the beginning of the war for fossil fuels. Now we're down to 1.5 billion per month, still too much. We aim to bring it down to 0. We will continue to support immediate needs and help build a more resilient Ukrainian energy system for the long term. To conclude, this is a good day for Europe and for our independence from Russian fossil fuels, because this is how we make Europe resilient.
This comes at a time, of course, very important, as Madam President mentioned. It is also important in the context of defending Ukraine and defending the European integrity and sovereignty. But it comes at a time that, as IE has said 2 years ago, lots of LNG is coming to the market now from US, Canada, Australia and Qatar. It gives us, Europe, a room of maneuver. I will, to finish my words, we all at the IEA, we all want to get a lesson, learn a lesson from this experience in the last 50 years. The lesson we learn is not to have too much concentration of energy from one single country. This can be gas, this can be this or that, because this in the energy world, over-reliance can quickly turn into major geopolitical vulnerability.
Sí, pero bueno, como dice también Rusia, lo que no se puede hacer es cerrarse, porque si al final te cierras en un mundo que además está abierto con el libre mercado, pues al final lo único que vas a hacer va a ser hundirte. Si no dejas a las empresas comprar a ciertos países, pues al final, y además Europa, que es mucho más pequeña que Rusia, al fin y al cabo, ¿no? ¿Qué es lo que opináis? Dejad los comentarios. Nos vemos en el próximo capítulo. Un saludo, amigos, y hasta luego.